Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm very excited to be sharing this video with you guys today. It's just going to be all about the makeup that I'm wearing right now. And this has just kind of been my go-to makeup recently. Just a very kind of warm golden-y eye and this bright pink lip I've been wearing non-stop recently. And I absolutely love it. I just think it's perfect for summer. It's definitely more of a full face makeup, so it's more for like a night out or if you're going somewhere that's a little bit nicer. It's not like a day-to-day lightweight summer makeup, so if you guys are looking for that, this is not going to be it. This is more of like a full glam kind of look. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that recently my skin has been super dry. And then last week I got sunburned, so that dried out my skin even more, which is not good. But because of that, I'm going to be using my MAC Strobe Cream as my foundation primer. This is a really good multi-purpose product. You could use it just as a highlight, or you could mix it in with your foundation, but it's really moisturizing, so I'm just going to use this under my makeup. I have already washed and moisturized my face, but this is just going to be a little bit extra moisture. So I use, honestly it depends on how dry I'm feeling. I just put some on my fingers and then rub it into my face. So obviously that made my skin super glowy, and I just love the way that it makes my skin feel. So then I'm just going to go ahead and give that a minute or two to set into my skin. Then for my foundation, I've been using my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is the shade Porcelain. I'm very fair. I love this foundation. It gives such a flawless finish, but it does not look heavy on your skin at all. So I use between like 1 and 2 pumps. I do like 1.5. 2 is a little bit too much for me. And I start off by just dotting it all over my face. Alright, so once I look a little bit crazy, then I go in with my beauty blender. This is my absolute favorite way to blend in foundation. I know a lot of people like a brush. I just personally cannot get it to look good. I always feel like I look streaky and cakey whenever I use a brush. So I just use my beauty blender. I do dampen mine. I know some people like to use theirs dry. And then to start blending it in, all I do is use a bouncing motion, and I like to use the rounded side. So now that I have most of it blended out, I'm going to switch it over to the pointed side. That way it's just easier to work around my eye area. And then I just have a tiny bit left on the back of my hand, so I'm just going to pick it up right onto the sponge. And I'm just going to put it anywhere that I need a little bit more coverage, which for me tends to be on this part of my cheek or on my nose, because that's where I'm the most red. So that finishes up my foundation. So now it's time to work on my under eye area, because I do have some pretty bad dark circles. So I've been using a combination of 2 products. The first one is the It Cosmetics by Under Eye. This is just a little sample that I got of it. And this is the color medium, so it's a little bit too dark for me. So I really only put it in this part of my eye where it's the most blue, and then I go in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. And the It Cosmetics concealer is very heavy, so you don't need a lot of it at all. I just put like a little tiny dot of it, and honestly that's probably going to be too much. So I'm just going to start off with this much and actually work it on both of my eyes, because I don't want to apply too much of it. And I initially just use my finger to pat it out, just to thin it out a little bit, because it is so thick. I don't want to go in with my beauty blender right away, because it'll just absorb a lot of the product. And I don't want to waste anything. And then once I get it blended out most of the way, I'll go in with my beauty blender just to make sure that it's nice and seamless. Alright, and that does a really good job of concealing the bluish purple tones, but to actually brighten up underneath my eyes, that's when I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay concealer. And then with whatever's just left on the brush, I go down the center of my nose in the Cupid's bow. I know some people do their chin and their forehead as well. I just don't really like the way that looks on my face, so I skip that step. And then for this, I just use my beauty blender to blend it out. So that is it for my foundation and concealer. So just to set everything in place, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Smooth Operator, and this is just a translucent setting powder. And even though my skin is more dry, I think it is really important to set my product just to keep it from sliding around all day, and that way anything that I put on top of it will blend out easier. So I just lightly swirl it around my face, and then underneath my eyes I do more of a patting motion, because I don't want to move any of my concealer around. So moving on to my bronzer, I'm going to be using my Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer. This is in the shade Golden Days. Mine is super broken, so I can't open it up and show you guys. I really need to get a new one, but I hate to do that because the product is still good. It's just a mess. But this is one of my favorite bronzers, and it's only like $6, so I definitely recommend it, especially for anybody that is fair like me. So I just use this on a bigger fluffy brush, and I'm going to dust it on just the outside of my face to warm it up a little bit. So that just warmed up my face a little bit. You could just do that if you wanted to, but I am going to go ahead and contour a little bit because, you know, why not? So to do that, I'm going to use my Hoola bronzer from Benefit. This is one of, again, my favorite bronzers. And with this, I'm just going to focus it more on the hollows of my cheeks. And going in with the bronzer before this kind of acted as a transition shade for my bronzer, so that's going to help blend this out even easier and give it more of a gradient look. Alright, so that just gave my face a little bit more definition. I don't go too crazy with it or anything. If you wanted to contour your forehead and nose and jawline and all that kind of stuff as well, feel free, but I just like to stick to my cheekbones. And then for my blush, I'm just going to go ahead and use Peaches from MAC. It is just, like it says, a peachy blush. Perfect for summer, especially if you are more tan, which I'm not. That would look really, really pretty on you. Alright, and then I'm just going to finish it off with some highlighter. And pretty much the only highlight that I've been using recently is this one right here. It's from my Naked Flushed palette. This is in the shade Streak from Urban Decay. That is just a really, really pretty pink toned highlight, and it's not too crazy over the top, which I like. So I'm just going to apply this to my cheekbones, and then above my eyebrows, and then on my nose and Cupid's bow. I seriously love this highlighter so much. I can build it up if I want it to be more intense, but if I just want to do something that's a little bit more natural for day to day, I think it's just so pretty and perfect for that as well. Alright, so that is it for my face makeup. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my eyebrows now. I'm going to go ahead and move a little bit closer for you guys to see. Alright, so I'm going to start off with my eyebrows, and I'm going to go in with my Anastasia brow gel. This is in the shade Espresso, and I like to do this before I fill in my eyebrows. That way I use less product. So I just go in with this and I comb them out. And I feel like doing this first shows me where I really need to fill them in, and then I just don't have to fill them in as much. So it doesn't make that big of a difference. It just darkens them up a little bit, and whenever I do my foundation, it always makes my eyebrows look super ashy, and this just gets rid of that look. Alright, so I honestly don't even think I'm going to fill in my eyebrows today. I just have kind of been liking the more natural brow look, and obviously I know my eyebrows are thicker than most people, so go ahead and fill yours in if you feel more comfortable with them filled in, but I just think that the brow gel was enough for today. So, okay, so I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow now, and I'm going to start off with my Tartelette in Bloom palette. I absolutely love this. It is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes, and the first thing I'm going to do is just take this color right here, just a neutral color that's really close to my skin tone, and I'm just going to put this all over my eyelid to get rid of any tackiness from the foundation and concealer that I put on, and this is just going to make all my eyeshadow blend out even easier. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do is take this color right here, and I'm just going to use it as my transition shade. This is the color Sweetheart. It's just a really, really warm, like kind of pinkish toned brown. Alright, so I just changed the lighting. I feel like it was looking very like ghostly and cold, so I just warmed it up a little bit. Alright, so then I'm just going to go in with the shade that's right next to it. This is called Rebel. It's just a little bit deeper than the color I was using before, and I'm going to go in with a brush that's just a little bit smaller. So then just to finish off my eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with this color from Urban Decay. It's called Blunt. It's just a really, really pretty kind of gold champagne color. Alright, so I'm just going to go into the second crease brush that I used and just blend out the edges of that a little bit. So that's all I'm going to do to the eyeshadow. I thought about darkening it up a little bit, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this. So I'm going to go in with eyeliner, and I'm going to use my NYC liquid liner. This is just a super black liquid eyeliner, and I'm going to do winged eyeliner. So I'm going to do that off camera because there's no way I'm going to be able to successfully do it on camera. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I will be right back. Alright, so I just finished up my eyeliner. I know it's not the most even, but it's about as good as it's going to get. So we're just going to work with it. And I'm going to go in with my mascara now. So I'm going to be using my Maybelline Lash Sensational. This is my all-time favorite mascara. And this one's pretty new, so I'm going to go in with this one. And then I'm going to go in with my old one, just because that one doesn't really have any product left on it. So it's just going to comb through afterwards and separate them and get rid of any like spideriness or clumpiness. And whenever I use the mascara, I always use the curved part of it. That way I can really like push it up in between my eyelashes. So that is it for my eyes. I'm going to move on to my lips now. So for my lips, I'm going to use my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. And this is in the shade Paulo. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's just a really, really pretty pink color. I've worn it a lot recently, and everybody's complimented me when I've worn it. So I'm going to go ahead and use that today. So then that's what the lip looks like once it's all finished. I absolutely love it. I love this pink so much. I think it's perfect for summer. It's kind of reddish, but it's still pink. And these are so inexpensive. They're seriously like $4, and they last all day for me. So they're perfect. And they're not quite a liquid lipstick, which I like because it's not as drying. So it's a lot more comfortable. So I really, really like this if you guys are looking for good long-wearing lip colors. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. And I will go ahead and talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!